Chapter 3. God, Me and the Army. I was never really one for religion, but would never disrespect those that were religious. Being raised as a Maltese Catholic meant I had completed my Holy Communion and confirmation ceremonies. I can remember praying as a child if I had a nightmare or if I needed to pass an exam at school. Basically, I used God as a bit of a good luck charm. When I was about 7 and living in Malta, I attended a state school there in Lucca. It was very strict, and it didn't help that I didn't speak Maltese. Every morning, we would have to form in neat rows in the school quadrangle, where the Maltese national anthem music would play over really crackly speakers, and we were expected to sing with enthusiasm. The chosen one would have the honour of raising the national flag. Then we would file into class for handkerchief inspection. On this occasion, I only had a tissue, so I was made to write, "I must bring a clean handkerchief to school," in Maltese. This was the 70s after all, and hankies were still an essential for young boys with snotty noses. A priest would regularly come to our school, and on one occasion I can remember him talking to me. He was a kind man, and I felt that he really cared and was interested in talking to me. He seemed very old to me, but what he said captivated me. He was talking about the importance of prayer, and then he gave me a leather-bound small book. On the front it said "Small Missile," and at the bottom of the cover 1947. I can't imagine that he gave everyone one of these books. It wasn't new, so I presumed it was his, and was honoured that he was giving it to me. When I got home, I looked through the book and could see that it was very old, and each page contained prayers and the rituals of Mass. I spent a lot of time reading it, as I recall. I'm amazed that I still have the book to this day. How it remained safe and not lost is a mystery, as we were to move country and home several times as a family. When preparing for my Holy Communion, I can remember not taking things too seriously when being instructed by the nuns. Me and my brother would find most things funny, apart from when the nuns looked sternly at us and informed us that if we didn't recite our prayers correctly, we would go to hell. That focused our minds, and there was no more playing around in that session. So, although I had a grounding in the Catholic faith, my lifestyle certainly was not God-fearing. That said, I wasn't a murderer, but some of my attitudes and behaviours were less than honourable. Wisdom, reflection. What you think something is, isn't. Religion isn't God. What is cultural doesn't always amount to faith. There is power in ritual if it doesn't become routine and bears good fruit. As a soldier, you were required to go to church. It was mandatory, and for some an experience to be endured rather than embraced. Whilst serving as a junior leader boy soldier in Old Park Barracks, Dover, we were issued with small red Bibles by the padre at the end of one of the church services. Everyone had to take one, and most hid them in their suitcase, on top of their locker, including me.